Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we have an elementary lesson for you, and we are at the supermarket.
That's right. We're at the grocery store, and we're going to learn some language you can use when you want to pay for your groceries.
So this lesson was requested by one of our users that wanted vocabulary and different phrases that are used in the supermarket when the person is about to pay for all the things they need.
That's right. And we also have some great language that the person who is actually selling the groceries can use.
All right, so let's listen to our dialogue for the first time and see what happens.
Excuse me, sir. This is the express checkout lane for people that have 15 items or fewer. It looks like you have more than 15 items there.
Oh, come on. I have 16 items. Cut me some slack, will ya?
Fine. Please place your items on the belt and push your shopping cart through. Do you prefer paper or plastic?
Plastic. I also have a couple of coupons.
No problem. I'll take those. Sir, these coupons expired yesterday.
Darn. Oh, well, I guess it's just not my day. Thanks anyway.
Do you have a club card or will it be cash?
Yeah, I got a club card. Here you go.
Will this be debit or credit?
Debit, please. Also, could I get cash back? $50 would be great.
Yeah, sure. Your total is $78.33. Here's your receipt. Have a nice day.
Well, we can see in this dialogue that the guy was able to buy his food. And you know, they were using some really interesting, helpful language.
That's right. And so why don't we look at this language now in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Okay, we have 6 words for you today. And the first one, the girl, the cashier, says, this is the express checkout lane.
All right.
The checkout lane.
So the checkout lane is the place where you get in line to pay for all the goods you bought.
Right. So the checkout lane. Now, why did she say express checkout lane?
So in grocery stores or in supermarkets, sometimes you have a specific checkout lane that's faster.
Okay.
Because people have less things.
So express is the faster checkout lane.
Right, the faster one.
All right. So next, she tells the guy to put your items on the belt.
Okay, a belt. Now, we know belt as the thing you put around your waist.
To keep your pants up.
Right. But in a supermarket, the belt is the moving table that you put your groceries on so the cashier starts to pass them through.
Okay, so the
belt.
Put your groceries on the belt.
And then the guy said that he had a couple of coupons.
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 A coupon.
So what is a coupon?
A coupon is a piece of paper you can use to get a discount.
All right. So it has a discount on it.
A discount for one thing. Like,
okay.
So maybe you buy some apples and you get 10% off one kind of apple.
Very good. Coupons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he presented these coupons and she said they were expired.
The coupons expired yesterday.
Expired.
To expire.
All right. So to expire, that means?
To be older than the date when you can use them.
Right. So why don't we listen to some other examples of how we can use expired so we can understand a little bit better.
Example 1.
I'm sorry, sir. This credit card expired 5 years ago. You can't use it anymore.
Example 2.
My driver's license expires in a month, so I have to get it renewed.
Example 3.
Don't drink that. The milk has expired.
So we can see his coupons expired, so they were too old and he couldn't use them anymore.
Exactly. And now, finally, she asked him if he wants to pay with his club card or cash.
So club card.
Club card.
What's a club card?
So in some supermarkets, you can receive a special type of credit card that you can only use for grocery shopping.
And only in that store.
Right. So that is a club card.
All right. So a club card. Okay. So he's going to pay with a card, but he also asks for some cash back.
Cash back.
Could I get cash back?
Cash back.
Now, what's he talking about? Can he get cash back? He's paying with a card. What does he want to do?
Well, what happens is sometimes suppose your groceries cost $20.
Okay.
So instead of charging $20 to your credit card or your club card, You say, okay, put $70. So then the cashier can give you $50 back. So you can have cash in your pocket.
So instead of going to the ATM, you can get your money in one spot.
Exactly.
All right.
So that's cash back.
Interesting. Well, why don't we hear this one more time in the dialogue, but let's slow it down a little so we can understand better.
Excuse me, sir. This is the express checkout lane for people that have 15 items or fewer. It looks like you have more than 15 items there.
Oh, come on. I have 16 items. Cut me some slack, will ya?
Fine. Please place your items on the belt and push your shopping cart through. Do you prefer paper or plastic?
Plastic. I also have a couple of coupons.
No problem. I'll take those. Sir, these coupons expired yesterday.
Darn. Oh, well, I guess it's just not my day. Thanks anyway.
Do you have a club card or will it be cash?
Yeah, I got a club card. Here you go.
Will this be debit or credit?
Debit, please. Also, could I get cash back? $50 would be great.
Sure. Your total is $78.33. Here's your receipt. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
All right, so now that we've listened to the dialogue for the second time, it's time for us to take a look at some phrases in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, we have
Dialogue.
3 phrases for you now. Well, the guy was not having a very good day, was he? So he couldn't go in the express checkout lane, and he says, cut me some slack.
Cut me some slack.
To cut someone some slack.
All right. Now, this is an interesting and very informal phrase. So before we explain it, why don't we listen to a couple of other examples?
Example 1.
Cut me some slack. I'm only 2 minutes late.
Example 2.
My wife just had a baby and I'm so tired. Cut me some slack. I'll send you the report tomorrow.
Example 3.
Emily had a really bad week. I think you should cut her some slack.
I think I can understand it means relax the rules a little bit.
Right. So don't be so strict on me.
Don't be so hard. Now, I know this phrase actually comes from mountain climbing.
Oh, really? Oh, because of the rope.
So it's just saying the slack is loose rope. So he's just saying a little bit more freedom.
Give me more freedom. Ah, interesting.
Yep.
To cut some slack.
Well, now the cashier asks him a question. She says,
Do you prefer paper or plastic?
paper or plastic?
Now, this is the common cliche phrase that any grocery store cashier will use, right?
So paper or plastic what?
Bags. Paper or plastic bags.
All right. So you'll hear this all the time in every grocery store. Do you want paper or plastic?
Right? So you can choose plastic bags or paper bags.
Okay, remember this one because when you get it right, you'll sound really native-like.
Very good. And our last phrase, since he wasn't really having a good day, he said, it's just not my day.
It's just not my day.
It's not my day.
Okay, so when it's not your day,
It means the day has been hard. You're not really lucky.
yeah, it's not for you.
Not a good day. All right, so let's listen to the dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about grocery stores in America.
Excuse me, sir. This is the express checkout lane for people that have 15 items or fewer. It looks like you have more than 15 items there.
Oh, come on. I have 16 items. Cut me some slack, will ya?
Fine. Please place your items on the belt and push your shopping cart through. Do you prefer paper or plastic?
Plastic. I also have a couple of coupons.
No problem. I'll take those. Sir, these coupons expired yesterday.
Darn. Oh, well, I guess it's just not my day. Thanks anyway.
Do you have a club card or will it be cash?
Yeah, I got a club card. Here you go.
Will this be debit or credit?
Debit, please. Also, could I get cash back? $50 would be great.
Yeah, sure. Your total is $78.33. Here's your receipt. Have a nice day.
Well, one interesting thing I know about grocery stores in America is that the people who are the cashiers are very often students.
Right. It's a very popular summer job or part-time job
Like-
of like college students.
Yeah, or even in my hometown, it was the most common job for high school students. After school, if you went to the grocery store between 4 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night, every single cashier would be a high school student.
And the interesting thing is that the cashiers are usually women, right?
Always the high school girls who are the cashiers.
And so the high school boys would be working in the back, maybe in the warehouse, carrying boxes or stocking the shelves.
So putting the cans on the shelves, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's a very popular part-time job for students in the United States, but also coupons are very popular in America.
Yeah. What is it about coupons?
Well, usually, for example, in the Sunday newspaper, you will receive a lot of coupons.
Okay.
You go to the grocery store and you have all these coupons for like cookies or a promotion on some type of soda or drink. So it's very popular. People go grocery shopping and then present all these coupons, and actually you can end up saving a good amount of money.
I know the coupons are usually like save 2 cents or save 25 cents. But I guess if you put all of those together,
Yeah.
you can save money.
It's interesting because people actually will buy that product just because they have a coupon for it.
And high school checkout girls. Well, guys, thanks for listening to this show. Now, remember, if you have any questions about the language we were talking about in this show, please visit our website at englishpod.com.
Right. Leave all your questions and comments there. And also, if you have any other suggestions or any doubts, please let us know. And well, we'll see you guys there.
So thanks for listening. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Second paragraph in the dialogue. All right, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Yeah.
The language and culture surrounding smoking.
Interesting.
Now, before anyone thinks we're out here promoting smoking,
Right.
it's more about understanding how language reflects, like, societal attitudes and habits.
Yeah.
We've got this fascinating English language learning podcast episode
Okay.
as our source material.
Interesting.
And trust me, it's packed with insights you wouldn't expect.
I'm intrigued already.
Oh, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Oh.
it's pretty funny too, actually.
Okay.
So the episode features this dialogue between a couple who were trying to quit smoking,
Okay.
but their conversation reveals a lot more than just their smoking habits.
I see. So it's kind of like a window into
Yeah,
how language is used.
exactly.
Like-
Their back and forth is a gold mine of
Vocabulary preview?
vocabulary and idioms related to smoking.
Like what?
Well, right off the bat, they use the phrase pack of smokes.
Pack of smokes.
Yeah. It
Okay,
seems
then.
simple enough, right? But it actually speaks to how cigarettes are sold and marketed as a unit,
Right.
often at a price that makes you think twice.
Makes sense.
They mentioned like $10 or $12 for a pack in Chicago.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's definitely a strategy to discourage smoking.
Yeah. Especially for younger people, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as that cost keeps climbing,
Yeah.
it's pushing more and more people to consider cutting down or quitting altogether.
I could see that.
Now, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The dialogue highlights this important distinction between quitting and cutting down.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The wife in the episode insists that she's cutting down,
Uh-huh.
going from, say, 10 cigarettes a day down to like 2 or 3.
So she's like trying to.
Yeah, she's trying to find a middle ground.
Right.
But as our source points out, cutting down isn't just limited to smoking.
Right. Of course.
We use it for all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Like cutting down on carbs, salt.
Those little indulgences.
Yeah, those guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
That we try to moderate.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to cut down on something?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
What was it?
Too many to list.
Fair enough.
But going back to the dialogue, it's clear that the husband isn't buying the whole cutting down thing.
He wants her to quit completely.
Exactly. And that's where the idiom going cold turkey comes in.
Going cold turkey.
Yeah. The wife claims she can't just go cold turkey overnight.
It's such a funny expression when you think about it.
I know, right?
What does a turkey have to do with quitting smoking?
Exactly.
Eh,
It really does make you wonder where these idioms come from.
it does.
It paints this vivid picture of like abrupt and complete cessation.
He's jumping into a cold pool.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the feeling it evokes,
And it's almost always used in the context of breaking addictions.
especially smoking.
Right.
It really emphasizes the difficulty and suddenness of quitting.
Yeah, for sure.
But speaking of difficulties, The husband also mentions how the laws are cracking down on smoking.
Cracking down.
Now, this idiom has a broader application. It essentially means that rules and enforcement are becoming stricter with harsher penalties.
Interesting.
The source material gives some great examples,
Like what?
like cracking down on drunk driving tardiness,
Yeah.
even illegal substances.
So it's like a way of saying things are getting more serious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can be viewed in so many different ways.
Right. Some people might see it as necessary
Absolutely.
to protect public health.
Yeah, while others might feel like it's infringing on their personal freedom.
Yeah, it's definitely a complex issue.
But while we're on the topic of restrictions, the dialogue mentions something really interesting.
Okay, what's that?
You can't just light up anywhere anymore.
Light up.
That simple phrase reveals a lot about how societal norms have shifted.
You're right. It used to be that you could smoke pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, in restaurants, bars.
Everywhere.
Now, with designated smoking areas becoming the norm,
Right.
it really highlights a loss of freedom for smokers.
That's an interesting point. It's like the language itself is reflecting those changes.
Exactly. And the source material also brings up ashtrays,
Ashtrays.
which, let's face it, have become almost as symbolic of smoking as cigarettes themselves.
Yeah, you don't see them around as much anymore.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's not just a receptacle, though.
Right.
It's often associated with that lingering smell of stale cigarettes.
That tends to cling to everything.
Ugh, yeah. Not exactly a fresh springtime scent.
Definitely not.
It makes you think even the objects associated with smoking have taken on a certain cultural weight.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And speaking of weighty matters, the source material touches on something that really surprised me.
Oh, what's that?
The effectiveness, or rather ineffectiveness, of those graphic health warnings on cigarette packs.
Oh, yeah, those pictures.
You'd think those images would scare people straight,
I know, right?
but apparently for some it's almost like they have the opposite effect.
Really?
Yeah, it's a real head scratcher.
It is. You'd think they'd be more effective.
Yeah, but it seems like human psychology is a lot more complicated than that.
It really makes you wonder
Does
about how people process information and make decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder about human psychology.
Right.
You've got these stark warnings, sometimes even gruesome images, and yet some people just seem to tune them out.
It's almost like they become desensitized to it.
Yeah,
Or maybe they just choose to focus on the enjoyment of smoking.
right, and push those negative thoughts aside.
Exactly.
It's a fascinating paradox.
Yeah.
The warnings are meant to deter,
Uh-huh.
but for some they've become just another part of the smoking ritual.
The podcast even mentioned that some people pick their packs based on the picture.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's like they've become collectibles.
Instead of warnings.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how some people react to warnings in other areas of life,
Oh, yeah.
like those about excessive sugar or screen time.
Right. We know it's not good for us.
But we often find ways to justify our choices.
Absolutely. Have
Yeah.
you ever found yourself doing that?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, me too.
It's human nature, I think,
It is.
to want to avoid those uncomfortable truths sometimes.
But going back to the podcast,
Yeah.
they also touched on the social aspect of smoking.
Okay.
They introduced this term social smoker,
Social smoker.
which I thought was really insightful.
What does that mean exactly?
So these are the folks who might light up at a party
Uh-huh.
or after a few drinks,
Okay.
but they don't necessarily crave cigarettes throughout the day.
So it's more of a social thing.
Exactly. They associate smoking with specific social situations
Interesting.
rather than like a constant need.
I see.
It makes you realize that quitting isn't just about breaking a physical addiction.
Right.
It's also about navigating social situations.
And maybe even changing your social circle.
Exactly.
Yeah, if your friends are all smokers
Right.
and you're trying to quit.
It can be really tough.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like you have to find new ways to connect and socialize.
Yeah, it's like you need to replace those old habits and rituals.
With new ones that don't involve cigarettes.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of personal experiences, the podcast hosts got really candid about their own relationships with smoking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them admitted to being a habitual smoker
Okay.
who's trying to cut down,
Uh-huh.
while the other described themselves as a social smoker.
I see.
I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Because it brought a personal element to the discussion.
It made them more relatable.
Exactly. They weren't just talking about smoking in this abstract, theoretical way.
Right.
They were sharing their own struggles and triumphs.
That's always more engaging.
It really humanized
Yeah.
the whole conversation.
And it reminded us that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to quitting.
Yeah, everyone's journey is unique.
Absolutely.
What I found particularly interesting was their discussion about those health warnings again.
Oh, yeah.
They actually dove into some research
Okay.
that suggests those warnings might not be as effective as we might think.
Really?
Yeah, it's counterintuitive, right?
You would assume that those graphic images
Would be a powerful deterrent. But apparently it's a lot more complicated than that.
So what do they say?
They talked about how for some people, those warnings might actually trigger a defensive reaction.
Interesting.
Like they might go into denial
Oh, I see.
or even become more defiant about their smoking habits.
It's like their brain is saying,
Don't tell me what to do.
exactly.
And that actually ties into a psychological concept called cognitive dissonance,
Cognitive dissonance.
where we feel uncomfortable when our actions clash with our beliefs.
So in this case, someone might downplay the dangers of smoking
Right.
to make themselves feel better about continuing to smoke.
It's a fascinating insight into how our minds work.
It is.
But, it also raises the question,
That's it.
if these graphic warnings aren't as effective as we thought,
Yeah,
what other strategies might work better?
that's a great question.
What do you think?
That's a tough one.
It is.
It's something that researchers and policymakers are constantly grappling with.
Right.
There's no easy answer.
It's a complex problem with no easy solutions.
Yeah,
But that's what makes it so fascinating to explore.
absolutely. And speaking of exploring,
Yeah.
we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We have. From the subtle nuances of vocabulary,
Right.
like pack of smokes and light up,
Uh-huh.
to the cultural implications of idioms like going cold turkey and cracking down.
Right. And we've delved into the psychological complexities of those health warnings.
And then the social dynamics of smoking.
It's amazing how much we can learn from a simple English language learning podcast.
It really is.
Yeah.
But now we want to hear from you.
Yes. What are your thoughts on the effectiveness of current anti-smoking campaigns?
Have you ever tried to quit smoking?
What was your experience like? Or maybe you know someone who struggled with quitting.
Yeah.
What strategies do you think would be most effective in helping people break free from smoking?
We're really interested in hearing your perspectives and experiences. Share your thoughts with us on our website,
Definitely.
and let's keep this conversation going.
It's a topic that deserves our attention,
Absolutely.
especially as we strive to create a healthier world for everyone.
Thinking about the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it's fascinating how language can be such a powerful tool for understanding complex issues like smoking.
It's true. We often take language for granted, but when you really stop and analyze it,
Yeah.
you can uncover so much about societal norms, cultural attitudes.
Even individual struggles.
Exactly.
And in this case, we've seen how the vocabulary and idioms associated with smoking reflect changing perceptions and behaviors.
From Pack of Smokes, highlighting the commercialization of the habit,
Right.
to Light Up, revealing the shrinking spaces where smoking is allowed.
It's true.
Language paints a vivid picture of how smoking is viewed and regulated in society.
And then there are those idioms like going cold turkey,
Right.
which captures the abruptness and challenge of quitting.
And cracking down,
Yeah.
which speaks to the increasing restrictions and penalties surrounding smoking.
It's amazing how much cultural information is packed into these everyday expressions.
And we can't forget those graphic health warnings,
Oh, yeah.
which, despite their good intentions,
Right.
often spark a complex psychological dance between awareness and avoidance.
It's a reminder that simply presenting information,
Yeah.
even in a shocking or disturbing way,
Right.
isn't always enough to change behavior.
We have to understand the psychology behind those choices
Absolutely.
and find ways to motivate people to make healthier decisions.
It's a challenge, but it's one worth tackling.
For sure.
And as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah,
we hope you've walked away with a renewed appreciation for the power of language,
definitely.
a deeper understanding of the culture surrounding smoking,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps even some food for thought about your own relationship with habits and choices.
So the next time you encounter a pack of smokes or hear someone talking about going cold turkey,
Right.
remember, there's more to those words than meets the eye. They're windows into a complex world of cultural attitudes, personal struggles, and societal change.
Until next time, keep those minds curious.
And remember,
Learning is a journey.
not a destination.